still has a little bit of coin to make, but by the same token, he's done really well for us. Stephen, DeGoey or McRae for Ashcroft? Absolutely McRae, mate. I think he's a clear-cut top 6 forward. We can't really say the same about DeGoey in the midfield. Both the guys. Thank you, mate. Always appreciate you getting around it. He also says, get Laird in for Cripps this week, or are there better primos? No, I would, if you can do that, for sure. I think if you're going to trade Cripps, you got to find at least 70, 80K. I'm not a big fan of trading in guys we can't quite trust. Otherwise, I'd hold him. We answered that one from Riley. Flynn, Long and Atkins to Ford and Briggs. I like that. It's going to set you up nicely. You'll make plenty of cash there, mate. So I like that. Chatty, have Van Rooyen, Sturt, Drury, Sharp and Wilmot, keeping into consideration job security. Which two need to go? Well, I get rid of Wilmot because he's got the buy and he's made enough cash and he's just come off a 29. Van Rooyen, I don't know as much about the other guys. I'm pretty sure Sharp's not even in the team. So I think of Sturt, Drury and Sharp, I'd just trade out the other one that isn't in the team because I don't think all of them will play this week, where Van Rooyen, I think, will. Timmer says, hopefully Ratkins doesn't get dropped. Yeah, look, I'm actually trading him, mate. I mean, I thought I would hold, but just the way it worked out, I tried to bring in Briggs for Roberts. Matty Roberts is just a dead rookie, but I just couldn't quite. I fell 10K short, 11K short, so I had to do Atkins. But Chris says, hey, Shorty, mate, just thought I'd get your thoughts on going Samson Ryan to Briggs this week. Thanks for the question, mate. I like it a lot. Ryan's been pretty solid, maybe better than we thought for us. And, yeah, I know Briggs is 250 or whatever. It feels a bit like it's a bit of a weird downgrade. It's like a sideways rookie. But we've been hanging out for a bloke to make us cash, and this could be the guy. Just watch those teams. Make sure Flynn stays out of that side. Ratkins to Weddle, and there's an or in there. I'm not sure. Or it's just a general or by the looks of it. I wouldn't go Atkins to Weddle because you're not really getting much cash. And I think, not that the ship has sailed on Weddle, but it's not a bad call. I just wish you could get a little bit more bang for your buck. For the downgrade. Thoughts on Ridley? Not a top defender for mine. Solid, but good price and everything, but not for me. We'll just do a couple more. We'll do Cam, and User says Miami or Denver. Oh, mate, again, not a sport that is Shorty's sweet spot. I have no idea, mate. You're going to have to give me the tip on that one. And Cam says, thoughts on Ford, Wardlaw and Briggs. How many trades will you have by the end of this week? Mate, I like them all, particularly Ford and Briggs. You're going to get some instant cash, and I'll have 9 trades by the end of the week. Atkins, what did I do with Atkins? I can't remember exactly what I did, but he went out, and I think I brought him forward just with sort of dual position sort of stuff. But thanks, everyone. We are rolling over to YouTube if that is your vibe. Actually caught up with most of the questions, which is handy. Oscar says, who do I get in for Darcy? I think Witts has been a popular call. I mean, I love Marshall and English. They've been my guys, but not sure on like how long Darcy is actually out for. But anyway, thanks heaps for all the questions, guys. If you want to jump over to YouTube, feel free. But yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday, same time, around 7 o'clock, and we'll just pump out questions for about half an hour. So see you guys soon. Cheers. Thanks. YouTube, what is up? What's going on? Let Shorty just get himself sorted with a few posting of links, etc. Got a good quiz for you too, guys. Got a good quiz coming up. What are we going to go? Facebook. It's a real interesting week. We finally got some of the rookies we've been hanging out for. We've been asking for these rookies, and they're finally starting to bob up. So that's nice to see. I think Ford's a lock. Wardlaw's a strong consider. Uh, Even Briggs, I think, is a pretty good option. It's always weird when I log in to copy and paste the link, and then I hear myself coming through it about 5 seconds later. It just trips me out a little bit, but um, feel free to chuck a few state of origin scores through as well. I've got minimal interest, but I would like an update. I'm sure most of you guys have. Fair few people probably pay close attention to that. That nah. Chuck this bad boy over to Twitter. Cool. Give me 30 seconds, guys, and then I will be rocking and rolling. Sweet. Done deal. Done deal. Let's do it. Also, let me know. I'm keen to see who gets drafted as well, and the old mid season. Here we go. We got Sil kicking us off. What to do with Sean Darcy? Do you reckon? I feel like this is going to be a popular one, so I'm going to have to get an update on this injury because I've got no idea. Ruckman will miss weeks with hamstring injury. Sidelined for at least one match after being subbed out. Well, that ain't good. At least one match, so I'd trade him, particularly with his history. So, mate, let's dive in because Darcy's not a guy I've had this year. So I'm a little less familiar with the rucks because I've just had the old set and forget for a while. But if we look at Darcy, he's at 567. I mean, clearly, if you can get English or Wits, I think they'd be your guys. Marshall super solid as well, but I feel like very popular. And I wouldn't muck around with anything else, really. If you wanted to get super sexy and fancy, mate, you could go all the way down to Briggs. Then he's going to make some bulk coin, and you might be able to. If Darcy missed 1 week, you might be able to ride the Briggs train for 3 or 4. Darcy drops a little bit with the 39, and you might be able to just work that in nicely. But just an idea. Ideally, for the sake of points, I'd probably straight swap him for a primo. The Devastator. Jeez, that's an aggressive name. Hey, Shorty, any rookies this week, or better to just leave it other than 40? I would try and get Briggs in, mate. I just think it's so rare when we get a guy. I know he's 254, but if Flynn's not named, mate, that guy's going to make some serious cash. He could be over 450. So he's a guy I would look at. But Wardlaw, if only he scored 70 odd, just at least 70 would have been a lock. I mean, he's still a good option. I'm not going to talk you out of it, but just the 40 LDU coming back, I don't know, just doesn't scream lock anymore, but still a good option. Devil, I'm early for once. Let's go. How's things, Shorty? I'm good, mate. How are you traveling? Thanks for dropping in. Love to see you there with an early comment, mate. Love to see it. Noah, g'day, Shorty. Looking at finally finding a way to get rid of Roberts for forward. Leaves me with 285k. I've got 3 mids on the buy. Plus, I kept Oliver. Is it time to pull the pin on Will Ashcroft? Yeah, look, I think it is time with Will Ashcroft. He's been great for us, but he's a welcome trade at any stage over the last week or two. He's one of those really handy options. No stress if you keep him because he can score. But if you need to trade him for a guy that just fits, then there you go. He's at a great price. And isn't it nice to shed a bit of that Matty Roberts, mate? Because I did the same. It's a nice feeling to just get rid of some of those dead rookies, mate, because they've oh, geez, nearly broke my chair, but they've been with us for a while. Josh, g'day, Shorty. What are your thoughts on Sheasel or Zeeble to Ridley? I need some cash to get Clary, and he has the good buy for me, and Ridley isn't playing lockdown anymore. Yeah, look, I'm not too aware on the Ridley role, but that is handy to know. I just don't like him as an option. Doesn't have the ceiling for mine. And he might not be playing lockdown at the moment, but that is historically chopped and changed. Yeah, it's changed back nicely the last few weeks. Oh, he won 30. His last two have been good. Yeah. If you desperately need cash, fair enough. But I don't see Ridley keeping it up. I just don't. But I understand sometimes you do need to trade. I would be going Sheasel, though, instead of Zeeble. I know Zeebs has been a little bit down these last couple. But the role is still good. Sheasel's the one who's younger, so there will be inconsistencies. Plus, the role has changed, which lends itself to more inconsistencies as well, playing forward the footy. So that'd be the way I'd approach that one. Jesse, Dad, Ashcroft, Wilmot to McRae, Ford, talk to me, Daddy. You like? I do like, mate. I do like that a lot. You got a couple of blokes with the buy, trading them out. Nice. I think McRae and Ford, great options. Both of them came into my team as well. Now, I'm just going to take a deep breath here and just have a drink of water before you approach Baggers here, because you just never quite know what he's got for us. Baggers. Shorty darling, how are we? I'm pretty good, mate. How are you going? I've been royally rooted this week. So thoughts? Well, Jesus Christ. Credit to you. Darcy to Brigger, Cashcroft for Dawson, and the Cowman to the Ford Raptor. Also, Sicily is a potato cake. We love him, but still a spud. Yeah. Yeah, he had all emotions for us on the weekend, dominating for us in Supercoach land. But just a throwback to the old Sicily, missing a week does hurt. But the Cowman, I'm probably losing your lingo here, mate. But I think from what I can interpret, they are good trades. Good to see you, man. Joshy Martin says, thoughts on my trades. Wilmot and Sheasel to Ford and Jack McRae. Yeah, I don't mind those. I have come around a little bit to Sheasel. It was outlined to me that he did miss quite a few minutes in the third quarter, which, probably would have seen him go 90 still against the Pies is pretty good if he did have a full game. But by the same token, I understand that, I would prefer McRae over Sheasel, so nothing wrong with that. Sheasel's a guy you can definitely keep, but if it works in to get a guy like McRae, it makes sense, because I've got no doubt that Sheasel will not score as well as he did earlier, because that role is just way harder to score. I know he's a talent, but that role is tough. Jackson says, hey, Shorty, is Simpson, Pedler, and Mitchell for McRae, Darcy Cameron, and Ford. Good trades. Darcy Cameron for ruck cover for Darcy. Then we'll swing him forward when Darcy gets back. I was looking at Darcy Cameron as well. Probably not this week for me, just because he's got break even at like 130. Think I can get a bit cheaper. But if you really need that coverage, then yeah, I think that's fair. Simpson, Pedler, Mitchell. Yeah, all good options, mate. The only thing I'd say is like Mitchell, I think his break even is still about 20. So maybe leaving a smidgen of coin on the table, but the trades work, mate. They look good, so I understand. You're pulling the trigger on those. Matt says Sharp Day and Wilmot out for McRae, Mullen, and Briggs. Thoughts? Look, I definitely like that in the short term. I will say with Mullen, job security probably not great. He's even a chance to not play this week. You just never know if Duncan comes back. But overall, good. Just going to jot a few of these names down because we're getting a few common threads in terms of what you guys are asking, which helps old Shorty out when he's doing the preview later in the week. Just helps me to sort of guide me to what you guys actually want me to talk about. Bagger says, also keep a lookout for the mid-season fellas. Sparkle giving me a wink. How could I deny the man a spot in the baked and draped side? Yeah, mate. He also says 30 seconds is all it takes. The big short dog. He's a crafty operator. That's what they know me for, mate. Yes, but agree on the mid-season draft. I believe that is in action right now. I'll be very interested to see who the Cats go. Talk about Sam Naismith or inside mid. Eagles snap up hulking forward with number one pick. I think that's Ethan Stanley or someone. Oh, there we go. Yeah, righto. So pick one. West Coast took Ryan Marriage. North Melbourne with pick two took Robert Hanson Jr. Don't know Robert Sr., but Hawthorn, Clay Tucker with pick three. Richmond, Matt Coulthard. GWS passed. Sydney, Harry Arnold. Geelong with pick seven took Mitch Hardy. He's the inside mid. There's Ethan Stanley for the Dockers. The Bombers took Jaden Hunter. Dogs took Caleb Poulter. So there's the first notable name, unless you follow the state leagues pretty closely. And there you go, Port, Quinton Narkle. So interesting that Port took him because I don't really feel like they need a guy like him, but there you go. Brandon Ryan ends up at the Hawks, and with the final pick, Tigers take James Tresize from their own VFL team. So all those blokes mean absolutely nothing to us right now, but in about a day they probably will because we'll know if they're in, we'll get their prices, and it'll be quite interesting to see. And I've left Yenshi on hold here, mate. I've just left him as a run through the draft. But Daniel Yench says, Shorty, my friend, it is not a surprise that you're looking absolutely divine tonight. I hope you are well. I look forward to his comments every week, mate. You know, if ever I'm feeling down, boom, just picks me right up, mate. No, it's good to see you, mate. He also says thoughts on the Cats picking up John Butcher in the mid-season. That would have just about got me if I hadn't just run through him. He's probably spewing about that. Josh says, MRO led free. Yeah, I did breathe a sigh of relief because I reckon that's about the difference from me having a full team to field this week or not. So that was crucial. Jonas, what's going on? Darcy Wilmot, trade or hold as warm body through the buys. He's a trade for me, mate. I mean, he's hit his buy. If he didn't toss up that 29, I'd maybe think otherwise. But nah, for me, it's a trade. Done his job. He's been great for us. Kevin, what's going on, mate? He says, hi, Shorty, how are you? I'm pretty well, mate. How you going? Was upgrading Sammy or Seamus Mitchell thinking he was injured. If he's not injured and if Chincotta playing, who is the trade out this week, both will be traded during the buy rounds. Yeah, Langas did mention a potential injury to Mitchell. I don't know much about it, but that would be very, very disappointing. I mean, if Chincotta is named, I'd really just base that one off the buys and or the break evens. I think Mitchell is a far better option because I just think his job security is there. Where Chincotta has obviously been dropped, Mitchell could miss through injury. So it's a bit of a toss of the coin and one that we just need a bit more information. We need those teams to come out. We need to see if he's playing, and we could probably make a bit better of a call. Then Devil says, I haven't even looked at my team or thought of what trades I want to do, so give me some life advice on motivation instead tonight. Oh, mate, I love that. Look, mate, sometimes in life, you just got to narrow the focus, mate. We have good and bad days, and the big picture can seem dark and gloomy sometimes. But in those moments, mate, just narrow that focus. You just got to have a good hour. Just do something good for yourself, mate. Just have a good night. Treat yourself. Jump on to Shorty's live, talk some shit. So there's the advice, mate. It's never as bad as it seems, my friend. Just shorten that focus. Tomorrow will be a better day. So if that doesn't get you up and about, my friend, as Hutto says, nothing will. Jonas short stack staring in the scene blown in 60 seconds. Jesus, Jonas is in some form tonight, D-Mac. Great mid-season rookie selection from the Giants. I'm sensing a stitch up here. Should be an instant inclusion. Yes, D-Mac, you got to do better than that, mate. Cam says, can get any defender in the game. Who would it be? Dawson would be mine. Closely followed by Stewart and, not Sicily this week, but I think Dawson's still the guy, even with a slightly leaner few weeks by his lofty standards. Matthew, what's going on, mate? Had a shocking day, Shorty. 0 sleep and had to go from Clayton to Tullamarine. To Tullamarine, back to Clayton after work. Soon as I got home, I realised I got to head back to Tullamarine because I left my keys. 6 hours. Oh, Matthew, mate. look, just take a deep breath, mate. Take a seat and let's just talk some super coach and banter over the next hour, my friend. I mean, you need this more than me, mate. Hopefully my life advice just came in handy for you, but that is a stitch up, man. There's nothing worse than leaving the keys. I still don't know where my main set of car keys are. I've got this pathetic little key, which is a spare key. If I lose that, I can't drive my car. So you would think I'd just get another one cut, but mate, I just thought the keys would pop up. I don't know where the hell they are. They're probably with my Geelong membership. I literally ordered a car. I made this big deal. I want a membership card. I hate the digital shit. I'll get the card and instantly lose it. So I don't have a fucking clue where it is. But anyway, uh, Matthews continues 6 hours of travel on no sleep. FML indeed, mate. You're definitely going to have a nice chill night tonight. And get yourself some handy Z's. Nick says, hi, you legend. Now that Gorn didn't get DPP, what are your thoughts on him? Oh, thanks for the pump up, my friend. How are you? Thanks for the question. Yeah, this is always the danger, and I mentioned it multiple weeks, like with Petrarca and Walsh as well. Very hard to guess who's going to be DPP. It can be a tough one. My thoughts on Gorn now is that unfortunately probably got ourselves a bit of a second or third tier ruck just with the role he's playing. So since returning from injury, 98, 80, 130, 94, 74, 98. So he's good, like he's solid, but you are losing points to the Witzes of the world, the Darcys, the Marshalls, the Englishes of the world. So I would place him in the category of luxury trade. You don't have to trade him immediately, and he'll still be capable of big scores. Don't get me wrong, but he might be one that you do need to trade at some stage. Hopefully that helps. James, what's going on? He just says hello. What's happening, mate? How are you? Jonas. I just had a sense these mid-season recruit gags will be flowing thick and fast, and they are. I respect it. I respect it a lot. Oh, no, James did have more than just a high for us. He continues. 11 trades left with 3 upgrades, and we'll get Lockie Neal with 2 trades next week. Top 350 now. Good position, mate. Fuck. Very, very nice position, my friend. Yeah, Lockie Neal, don't mind that. I mean, he's had a good couple of weeks. He's not the Lockie Neal of old, but he's probably 570, 577. Anytime Lockie Neal can be got for under 600K is good. So to get him after the bye might even be something I entertain now that I think of it. Don't mind that at all because I was originally thinking like Walsh or Merritt, but their bye's not as good. So yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that at all, mate. Baggers is back. Matthew invested in a helicopter. Sarong has a massive chopper. Worked well for you. Holy shit. Andy T, hope you're well, shorty. Yeah, I'm going nicely, mate. It's always good when you can get to the Wednesday mark of the week. The weekend ain't far now. He continues with not many cash cows on the horizon. Is Briggs a must-have this week besides Ford? Good luck with the buy, shorty. Thanks, mate. And you too. These buys will make or break us. Sometimes you just got to really knuckle down and plan it out because you'll bloody be pinching yourself if you butcher the buys. But to answer your question, he's not an absolute must-have because it's very hard to fit in a guy who's 250K. It's a bit awkward, but I probably would place him in the must-have because, as you say, rookies are scarce, and he's going to make us a stack of cash. Could cover us nicely for Rowan Marshall this week or someone like that. So I would really place a high emphasis on bringing him in. Field Ollie says best midfielder to get in this week. Downgraded Ashcroft to Ford and don't know who to get in. This week, I mean, it's really just any of the guns that don't have their buy because we can't really get too advantageous. Oh, I would probably work it out by looking through the guys, and it's a bit hard for me I don't know the buys off by heart, but I'll go through a few guys that I like, and if they butcher your buy structure, like I know the Dogs are killing my structure and that type of thing. If it doesn't work for your structure, then fair. But Petrarca, great option. Sarong, good option. He's got the fucking bye this week. Bad option. Laird, always a good option. Zach Merritt, good option. Sam Walsh, good option. So, again, some of those guys might not line up nicely with your buy. Be great to know when Tuke Miller is back, because wouldn't that be just a beautiful final upgrade for our midfield? Wouldn't that be great? Bagger says, get Narkle. He's a Narkle fan, mate. Wonder if he can get a game at Port. I don't know if he will immediately. Amusements in the house. Sorry, Father. Origin commitments. Go Maroons. All right, bye, Father. Have a good evening. Yes, this man loves his Origin, loves to talk about it each time it does come around. So, Amusement, we'll talk to you another time, mate. Josh, would you rather get Ridley this round or Callum Mills when he's back as a cheap primo, or any other cheap primos you know, because I'm low on cash? I would prefer Callum Mills when he's back. When is that? Let's have a look. How did he not get dual position? Like, I'm so confused. I swear he was playing. I know the last two games he was more midfield, but I swear for like 4 weeks he was almost pure backline. Anyway, it would have been very handy. But yeah, he's going to plummet in price, which is going to be super saucy. And he on the injury list is listed as 2 to 4. That is not the range we want. I don't like the Ridley option, but if you're strapped for cash, fair enough. Honestly, I know people are talking about trading out Paddy Cripps, but Cripps could be an in by next week. If he plays a good game or two over the next fortnight, you get him in. If you're really struggling for cash, like Jeremy Cameron is not the worst option. Can Adam Sard bounce back? Like, I'm throwing some low ballers at you here. I don't know how strapped for cash you are. But they're just maybe a few names that may or may help you out. I don't know. They may or may not. Widescreen TV, Shorty, what's your worst trade in or out this season? I think everyone's just jumping at the keyboard knowing which it is, but my worst trade out would have to be Goulden. Clearly, that hurt me a lot on the rankings. I'll stand by the thinking pattern, but the practicality of it did not work well. Worst trade in? I mean, it's hard to beat yourself up too much, but probably the rookies that have died quickly, like Roberts, who could have seen that coming. Wagner went early on him, failed. Chinkota didn't just hurt us. Campbell Chessup dropped the next week. So that hurts, but otherwise, maybe Jack Steele. So he's a guy that I've traded in thinking he's a top line mid. I've now got my doubts. So be a really interesting watch on Steele over the next few weeks. Bagger says, nah, marriage, short dog. So it'll be interesting to see how many of these guys do get a go either this week or the coming weeks. Joshy Morgan, hey, short stacks. What's going on, mate? How are you? On amusement wasn't done. P.S. Get prepared to get Bontempellied on Saturday. Here we go. He's having a crack at my cats. Then you're just wait until September. He doesn't forget, mate. He doesn't forget. I was talking shit last week and didn't anticipate my cats would lose to the Giants. Garbage won't be a thing because Geelong won't be there. Okay, I'm actually going now. Nervous times. Thanks, Basil. No, fair call, mate. The cats are in a bit of strife. I'm not going to lie to you there. And I have tipped the dogs. It hurts me to tip against the cats, but I'd absolutely love to stick it up you on the Saturday, mate. I've got a 30th too, so I won't even be able to watch it that closely. Anyway, gonna have to be knocking a few Malibu and pineapple juices back and just checking out the scores when we can. Widescreen TV says, what do you think about using 4 trades over the next 2 weeks, leaving me with 6 for the rest of the season, but getting Darcy, Cameron, and Dawson will have 21 primos? Yeah, that's fine, mate. I was saying on TikTok, like, I think you want to have your team completed with about 4 or 5 trades. So I think you're on target for that. So the fellow was talking about low price primos. Darcy Cameron is actually one, not necessarily for this week, but because he probably could drop a smidgen. I wouldn't mind seeing him just burst out a little ton for us before bringing him in. But he is a pretty solid option, I think, and could be a handy little downgrade or upgrade at a pretty low end price. Cameron says, "Short man, how you going?" Pretty nicely, my friend. Pretty nicely. Good to see you. Thanks for the question. Finishing off my back line. Who should I go for? Ryan, Houston, Sinclair. Got about 550 to spend. Look, of those blokes, definitely Sinclair. I think sometimes I'm a little bit biased towards him because he has been a little bit up and down, but I just think over the long haul, the rest of the year, he'll score the most points out of that guy, out of those guys. Plus, if you can bring him in next week, like Ryan, he will have already used that buy, so that's quite handy as well. Devil says after very very quick analysis, I've gone Chincotta to Ford and Wilmot to McRae. Walsh not getting DPP absolutely screwed me. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing. I know it did look very very possible that he would, and even Petrarca I thought was even more of a chance. Didn't happen, but I like those trades though, mate. Um, some Supercoach guy. G'day, Shorty. Is 15 trades a lot at this stage? Oh, it's bloody good, mate. There wouldn't be too many who have that. But like I always say, it's more about how many trades you've got in comparison to how many upgrades you need to do. You want to be gunning for 5 trades left when your team's completed. So if you got 15 and you've got about 4 or 5 upgrades to do, you're on track. If you've got even better than that, then you're probably ahead of the pack. So that's pretty good at this stage of the season. Angus, would you go Briggs if you have Marshall and English, so only can field him for one game, but good cash gen? I would, mate. It's exactly what I've done. So I've swung Madam Ford, put Briggs in as R3. He can play this week. Just couldn't resist that cash gen. I've been dying for it, so I just couldn't resist it when it was smack bang in front of us. Steamac says trade Wilmot or Ashcroft. No idea what their break evens are. We'll hold the other through the buys. If you're going to hold one through the buys, Wilmot's the trade, mate, because he's going to lose more cash. He's got no ability to score 100, where Ashcroft, I know he's at a higher price, so there's a chance he could drop still, but he's still a guy that you can go, look, he could score me 90. He could score me 120. He could score me 60, but Wilmot, he can't do the others. So I think that's fair. CJH, mate, when are we getting the OnlyFans page? Oh, there was a time when people used to just talk that sort of gear for almost every live sesh. But there used to be one guy who just used to always wanted me to send him feet pics. Still not quite sure how serious he was, but not quite there yet, mate. Maybe it's still in the working stages. Baggage, Shorty, thoughts on this trade for next week after trading out those fellas earlier? Cowman, yeah, he's the Carlton fella. Cow, yeah, right. Checks out. I have 225k to go for Rory Atkins and the bastard out to Cripper the crippled if he plays well. Yeah, look, I think that's pretty solid, mate. I'm a big believer in Cripps. I really am. I know he's been off, but I'll be backing him in if he does go nicely over the next week or two. More than happy to snap him up in the early 500s. Theo says Merritt, Briggs, Ford in, and out goes Ashcroft, Atkins, Van Rooyen. Thoughts? Keep it up, lad. Always great to see you, Theo. And I like that, mate. I think very similar to my trades with just a few different names, but I think that's good. Ford and Briggs, they'll set you up, and Merritt, he's a top mid, so it's good stuff. Bagger Shorty, if you own a Ford, I have a spare key for when I sold the FG, waiting for a rainy day when I see the beast again, so I can take it and sell it again. Call me genius, I know. And he continues on. Shorty asking for a Carter he couldn't make tonight. Little people commitments. He asked Raul or Sicily has crap at Supercoach, so recommend like Rampy, and I'll send him a vid. Oh, I couldn't recommend him that, mate. I just couldn't. But that's an easy one, mate. Sicily for sure. Not for this week, clearly. I'm not buying the Raul trade in. He can go big, I get it, but I just don't really see the point. I mean, he's not really cheap. He's not like he's going to be a cash cow option. He's $5.95 and he's not a keeper. So I don't get it. It's a pity Sicily is out this week, but he would be my guy. Sammy Boy says, Shorty, how are we? Pretty well, mate. What's going on? Thanks for dropping in. Pufferfish, Shorty, mate. How you going? Pretty nicely, my friend. Pretty nicely. Just it's been a pretty chill week. Just haven't bitten too much off, you know what I'm saying? Just kept those nights free, hit the gym. And yeah, after this, I think I'll probably just chuck on a bit of 360 and kick back, mate. So it'll be good. Thanks for dropping in. Jack says, hey, Sugar, I need your help. Had a shocker this week. Did my VC emergency loop after one too many 196s. Ended up with Goulden and Atkins. This week I'm looking at Laird or Green. Thoughts? Oh, mate, those 196s, they'll finish anyone, mate. I actually bought some from Primus King the other day. Bought a 5-pack. Too scared to touch it. Too scared to touch it, mate. But one day I'll conquer them. In terms of this week, you've got Laird to Green. I wouldn't want to end with Green as the C. I just don't trust him as a C option. I'd rather switch it, but obviously we can't do that this week. I'd almost look at going Dacos into Laird if you really like Laird. I'll probably go on Dacos into Bontempelli. I think Geelong's midfield's just really struggling. Our rucks are struggling. So I think Bontempelli could really go off. And Baggers continues. Can we get Shorty's multi-tips? I'm losing money like your car keys. It comes in, then straight out. Look, mate, I will see if I can bring up a little same game multi option. We don't often do this, but can I see Friday's game with the markets? We can. Same game multi time. Now, I'm a boring bastard when it comes to same game multi, mate. I'm just going to try and find you something between the $2 and $3 mark, and then just chuck money on it. I'm not about these big fucking 8-leg things because I just don't think they get up all too often. I'm more like chuck $20 on a $2.10 pop, you know? Okay, what do we got? I would definitely go Acres at 15. 20 disposal is probably my favourite one to go in. Cripps 20 plus, Doherty 20 plus. I'd go Chera 20 plus. High possession team Carlton, so I'm happy to go it. I'd consider Viney at 20. Don't want to lock him in just yet. 25. Walsh is normally a lock for 25. It's been a long time since he hasn't got it, so I'm going to go that. Petrarca at 25. Almost feel more comfortable going. I know Jack Viney's been in shit form, but I feel like with Oliver out, he really needs to lift. What did he have last week? 16. Look, go with the players you trust. I'm going to go Petrarca for 25. That gives you $2.05. Gamble responsibly, obviously. So you can easily double your money there. I say easily, but I think it's pretty solid. I might just throw in something saucy for your 15 market, just if you want to bump that up a smidgen. I feel like Christian Salem is solid. Salem could be a guy. So hopefully some of that might just make you a little bit of coin. I don't know, but I haven't been doing too many same game multis lately. I normally do put them on Twitter when I do, but so stay tuned if you follow the old Twitter. Who we got? GRB Greenwood. That's an interesting one. I'll check his break even because he did think he turned up on the weekend, didn't he? Just trying to see what he did here. I don't really like him as a price. Oh yeah, 91 and 116, 338, negative 12. What is he? Midfield. I think there's better options, mate. Like I prefer Briggs if that works structurally. Cheaper, better break even. Ford's a lock. So he's not a bad option, but not one that I'm jumping at. Jonas, hey Shorty, when are you next appearing with DR, Spills, and Janeth on the Touching Swords podcast? Probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm thinking I'll just do it maybe every month or so. Yeah, great fellas. So I definitely will be looking to get back on with them soon. Carl, shorter, Shortosaurus Rex, man of the people and destroyer of the Kahlua milk. That's it, mate. You know it, Carl. Carl continues. Snog, marry, or avoid. This is good. Ashcroft, Radaglia, Briggs, and Wardlaw. Then grab Neil in a single trade up for a rookie next week. You know what? I'll marry that. Lock that in. Lock that in. I think it's more than a snog, mate. I think we can we can certainly bank that with a bit of confidence. I take it you've already got Ford because he's not in your calculations, but good stuff. Good stuff, mate. Always love hearing from Carl. Pufferfish says he says get keen for the quiz, fellas. Absolutely, mate. I've got a good quiz coming up for you. Probably about half an hour. Oh no, we're out of water, mate. Might need a little water trip soon here. Widescreen TV. I did the same with Gordon. Yeah, I had the exact same thought about him. Caught on the wing. Wanted someone to confirm it to trade him out. So did that once you confirmed it as well. Oh, mate. I know. And look, I know it doesn't look good, but I do stand by it. Like sometimes all you can do is look at what's in front of you. And if a bloke comes out and hits form, what the hell can you do? It pisses me off, but I think still over the long term, I don't think it's going to hurt me as much as it did immediately, but gee, it did hurt those 150s. Matthew says, "Hey, Shorty, do you play any video games?" I actually don't, mate. Used to back in the day, full nerd mode, right in high school. Used to play RuneScape all the time. Used to love that shit, but no, I've never been good at video games really. Not very good at sitting still, so when I did, I was just more your FIFA guy, no good at FIFA. Or your AFL Live operator. Used to play a bit of top spin tennis, mate. Fucking bang. But no, do you, mate? Would love to hear. Noah, thoughts on these trades? Wilmot, Ashcroft, Roberts, and Madden out for Ford, Doherty, Briggs, and probably Marriage, assuming he gets selected. Leaves me with 11 trades, one boost, and I think 200K. Ford, Doherty, Briggs, Marriage. Yeah, I've got no issue with that. I mean, like you say, we'll need the teams to just cover off on it a bit. But yeah, I think that looks good, mate. Well set up with the trades too. Bit in the bank. Carl says, I'm also thinking of a cheeky Z-goal to Darcy Cameron. Buy rebalance with a third trade this week to take advantage of Darcy Cameron versus Eagles. Do you like my move? And do you like my moxie, or is that a touch too loose? Look, I've got faith in Zeeble, mate. I don't feel like there's any need to trade him out. I like the Cameron call, but I'm just wondering, can you do it through a Mitchell, a Van Royen? I mean, something dual position style. I just think, I know Zeeble's been a touch quieter of late, but I still think I think you can keep him all year. So, yeah, hopefully that helps, mate. Nick says, what rank are you, bro? Real Nick Kyrgios style there. But my rank is 3,129th. So happy with that. Just knocking on the door of the top 3K and really hoping to be knocking on the door of the top 1,000 by the time we get through these buys, all going to plan. Jonas Shorty plays Vivid Dolls on N64. Mate, I sold a couple of N64 games throughout the week. Just had them on Marketplace for ages. Some bloke's like, boom, is this available? I'm like, yes. He was around within an hour. Boom, $100. It's like, bro, how good's this? How good's this? Pufferfish says, does Sheasel need to go? No, I don't think he has to. And I've come around a little bit on this. He missed a little bit of footy through the third quarter. So people let me know that, which was fair. I do think he will not score as well as he has. This mid-forward role, certainly not as good and friendly for SuperCoach as the half-back role, but he doesn't need to go. He definitely can go if that suits. But yeah, he's more of like a luxury option. Can certainly score well for us, but I would envision those centuries are not going to be as often. I still think he can pump out the odd one, but much easier to go cold on a half-forward flank than a half-back flank. Baggers, he gets around the VR, must play a lot of games where you're climbing through caves, and I assume on the knees a bit. Shorty is a tomb, right? Oh, geez. He's dangerous on the comment, mate. You got to be careful. Corey, what's going on, mate? I might only look at Caminiti to forward this week as may not get Briggs as doesn't help me on field only for this week. That's fair. I mean, it was an added bonus for me that Briggs worked on field. I think the real bonus is probably minimum 150K, potentially. Remember when Riley O'Brien was around a similar price for the Crows? And all of a sudden, he became like their number one ruck. Like, could Briggs be that? Could he average high 90s for the rest of the year and make 250K? Could he double in price? That's the upside. The downside is that Flynn comes back, and then all of a sudden we're pretty concerned about it, but could make a lot of cash. Some Supercoach guy got the 15 trades with Ashcroft, Atkins, Weddle, and Mitchell to go. Also got some cash on the bench with Wilmot and Chincotta. Yeah, nice. So you're very nicely set up with the 4 upgrades. I think you're on track to upgrade the team quite nicely and still have plenty of trades just in case some injuries hit us later in the season, which is nice. Nick's having a bit of a chat there. Carl, hoisin sauce mullet. Shorty, give us the good oil. Danger Guthrie. Other blokes returning soon. Reckon he is any sort of job security or has any. Can't be carrying more dead wood on the pine. Now I've mentioned this maybe on the TikTok. Yeah, job security really poor. One bloke in amongst that is Mitch Duncan. So he's probably a guy that will directly steal his spot. There are a few others who just, in terms of Geelong's depth, will come back as well, which won't help him. So, shock and job security. If he's still in the side in 3 weeks, then I've got no idea. But I think he's a very exciting player, but he would need some other guys to either not come back or new injuries to open up a spot for him because it looked exciting, but he's not going to keep his spot. Pufferfish says Neil/Luke Ryan next week for Ashcroft/Cecil. Also, is Rory Atkins a must out next week? Yeah, he probably is. He probably is. Once he loses that 100, and unless he tons up again, he'll most likely have a 28 and a 72 or something like that. So, yeah, he is a trade. And of those two, I definitely prefer Ryan, and I prefer trading out Ashcroft. So, hopefully that helps. Bagger says, thanks, Shorty, for the bet. Just took my brother's school fee deposit. Fingers crossed it gets up or Baggers is looking like a red and blue lights coming his way. Yes, gamble responsibly, everybody. D-Mac, Darcy to Briggs, worth it, or just go straight to English or Wits? I would prefer you to probably just go straight to English or Wits, but I also kind of want you to get Briggs in as well, if that's at all doable. Yeah, so that's probably my thoughts. I just wouldn't want you to have to rely on Briggs. I think it's like an added bonus if he's at R3 or something like that. Xavier says, G'day, Shorty, how you going? Pretty well, mate. How are you? Thanks for jumping on board. Baggers, okay. It's that time, Baggers, Tassie Tangerine Toddlers selection panel. We're looking at Ballantyne out of retirement, new approach. If you can't beat them, beat them. Few looking hits. Also looking for suggestions. Loves the Tassie team, this man. George, you helped my sister today at work. Thank you. Oh, no worries at all, mate. Just want to see what footy team you go for. Happy to help, mate. Yeah, I'm a Cats fan, mate. Yeah, Cats member. Who do you support, mate? I'm stoked with how the Cats been going these last few weeks. I thought we were back, but last 3 weeks has not been as well as I would like. But yeah, let me know who you barrack for, mate. Good to see you. Jonas says Zeebel's average is taking a nosedive with Hall back. How long before Hall pass does a hammy? Yeah, look, I didn't anticipate it affecting him as much because, as we know, Aaron Hall and Jack Zeebel scored in harmony with each other a few years back, mate. They did fine. But obviously Zeebel has had a poorer last couple of weeks, and Hall has only scored 88 and 59. So it's not like he is dominating or anything. Let me have a look at the kick-ins. I just think Zeebel's been just a smidgen off. I don't think it's anything to get too worried about. But yeah, I think it's a matter of time. Hopefully Clarko comes back because he hates Aaron Hall. He drops him in a heartbeat, mate. Let's see the kick-in breakdown. No, that's interesting. So Aaron Hall's taken 1 kick-in one kick in last week, 3 the week before. So Zeebel's still the main kicking guy. I don't think there's any need to panic. I still think Zeebel's a really good option. Baggers also, where's Adam? He should be worried. Got that Ben Cousin grind going at the moment. Oh boy, Baggers is he's really feeling it tonight. Hall pass, not bad at all. Jono, how are you, mate? What's going on? Sill was the number one comment first off the rank, and he's back. Thoughts on Ratman out for Briggs? Yeah, I like it a lot, mate. He's been good for us, Galia, but absolutely, Briggs is going to really make some extreme cash. Jono says, thoughts on Jake Lloyd? I probably thought he didn't have the ceiling, and then he comes out and nearly goes 140 on the weekend. I still don't see him in that top bracket of 6 or 7 defenders, but he's definitely very consistent. The only thing I'd say is like when Mills and Rampy come back, like there's a few moving pieces in that back line. I honestly thought Lloyd was done from a Supercoach perspective. I wouldn't jump at getting him, Jono, but he did play well on the weekend. Pufferfish says Chincotta may get some game time with this week. This week with Carlton going God mode lately. Yeah, I think he should come back, shouldn't he? Because they have a lot of outs. So it'll be very frustrating for those who have him if he doesn't. Corey, did you see Luke Ryan? Cousin went in the mid-season draft. He's 200 centimetre forward. Didn't know that. There you go. I wonder if we'll see him with immediate impact. That'll be interesting. Jonas says that's smelly porn. That smelly porn English is getting a bath every week now. Gee whiz. Wits 51 hit outs. 51 hit outs to 22. O'Brien 63-29. Pitnet 48-30. How will he go against the Cats? Look, I mean, English has never been a guy that absolutely scores the house down via his hit outs. I think Bevo's knock has always been on him that he's probably not strong enough in the contest. And I watched him very closely against Pitnet. He doesn't get to the front position enough in these throw-ins. He's very athletic, so centre bounce he's all right. But I had him as VC and I was at the game, so I was watching him real close. He doesn't fight tooth and nail to get front spot. I was real surprised. Every time Pitnet would just take front position and command where he's going. It was very strange, but no, I mean, he'll probably towel the Cats up because Segler's struggling. He'll certainly towel him up around the ground, but no, English, no need to be worried about him. Baggers hope English gets shelved, the dog. George, I go for the Saints. Nice, mate. We wouldn't be happy on the weekend, but, certainly they're having a good year, mate. Ross has got them going nicely. Josh, is 3 trades enough for a completed team? As in, is 3 trades left? Or, because, I think if you complete your team and you have 3 or 4 trades, I think it's okay. Ideally, sort of at least 4 or 5, but I think that's all right. Bagger says, Father Short, Jeff, have a good one, mate, if you're watching. I wonder if Dad is watching. I told him to get in on the quiz. The bastard told me, I haven't read the papers enough, mate. Come on, mate. The guy's retired. I mean, just get out and do me quiz. He's probably going to text me if he's watching, but Pufferfish, just went away. Pufferfish, Jacob Kaczynski going to win the Coleman this year. Oh, shit. Big fella, g'day, Shorty. How are you? Looking good tonight, he says. I'm good, mate. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. He's going Simpson and Ashcroft to Stewart and Ford. Very nice. Should I go Madden to Briggs as well? Cheers. Looking forward to the quiz. And the quiz might be a touch earlier tonight because we've actually caught up to the questions pretty nicely. Look, I definitely think Briggs is an in. Whether it's Madden or whether you can maybe ditch like a Davey or a Roberts or maybe like someone like that. But Madden works as well. And I like those trades too, mate. So I do think Briggs is a real strong consider. Almost must have because he could make just so much coin. Yo Flick says, when can we have a few beers, Shorty? Look, I'll be out and about on the weekend out in Geelong. I don't go out as much now, but I will be floating in some random nightclub probably on Saturday. So if you want to try and track Shorty down, you can try your hardest. Carl says, just a rule of thumb, but nice to have 1 trade per every 2.5 weeks from when you complete your side. Can never predict, but wouldn't want to go lower than that. How's the precision from Carl? But you're right. You do you do want to have a bit of backup. I mean, the ideal is to have like a dual position that can float, like an extra, like a cheap extra, like whoever it could be. But no, it's a very good point. You don't want to leave yourself too high and dry. Steve, Shorty, I got myself forward last week and getting the GWS Ruckman. I am still considering Wardlaw for his scoring. Hopefully something similar to Ashcroft as he will be on the field until last upgrade. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, I think Wardlaw, it would have been great if he just got a little bit more out of him on the weekend. We would have all been all over him, but still going to get plenty of footy, I think. Um, so, yeah, don't mind that. And, yeah, I think Briggs is a great option. Jonas says, oh, no, Devil was next. What's your thoughts on who will be top 8 at the end of the year? Oh, yeah, nice little general one. Let's get the ladder up, shall we? Look, I'll tell you who I think might change in the 8. Um, I do think Geelong and Fremantle are the only 2 teams outside the 8 that could come in. I still think Geelong, with their run of home games and getting a few soldiers back, will be good enough to make the 8. I don't see Essendon making the 8. And then it's tough. I mean, can Adelaide keep going? They are young. The Saints are running hot, but I just don't 100% trust that they are absolutely back. But I would say there'll be at least one change. And I think the Dons will drop out. They're going better, but I do think they'll drop out for either the Cats or the Dockers. Jonas said, scored 100 last week and only 22 this week. What happened to Callum Coleman? Callum Cuckman Jones. Holy shit. Yeah, mate, he's just an inconsistent guy. He largely plays forward. He's a key post player. It's going to happen, mate. That name's wild. Your flick says, see you there, lad, in Torquay. Oh, he's a Torquay man. There you go, mate. Well, I don't know where we'll end up, but normally Geelong Hotel gets a bit of a run. Shorty might roll into Lambie's at some stage, but yeah, got a pretty big 30. There's like 120 people invited, so it should be a bit of fun. Carl, all forward entries when they got going went to Big Sav Larky, didn't they? Big fella had the hot hand. Yeah, Larky's almost underrated, I think, sometimes because he's putting through a lot of goals for a fellow who plays in a pretty average side. Harrison, thoughts on Jake Lloyd after the bye, even though Ramps is back next week? Cheers, Shorty. Yeah, well, I'm just not sold on him. I know he was good this week. He's consistent, but just don't see him as a guy that we can bank on to be top end for the whole year. I think when it's all said and done, he'll be like, the ninth best defender or the 11th best defender. You know what I mean? Good, but not quite the top end. So just depends how you rate him, I guess. But he's not one I've considered. Corey Nat Fife could be the cheap guy with DPP and could play mid time for cover. Yeah, I did look at him throughout the week. Just all it'll take is a couple of better games, match fitness. And you're right, he could actually be a handy option. Pufferfish, I got 320th in Supercoach 2 weeks ago with a score of 2,700. I'm coming up for the top almost as fast as the mighty West Coast Eagles this season. Yeah, mate, that's impressive. I'm dreaming of a 2,700 later in the year. They do come up with those weeks. I remember a week when people scored 3,000. I remember I scored like 2,800. If you can remember, it was a week like Dean Cox scored 200 and someone else, I think Ablett went nuts. Like it was, I reckon maybe Matty Pritis scored 180. It was a crazy week. Jason says, is McRae a must-have? I think he is. Gets the forward eligibility, back-to-back huge scores. Treloar might affect him slightly, but even so, I think he's a top 6 forward. I'd get him at the price. So I've got him this week, and I reckon he is a must. Carl says, Shorty's go-to fast food. Love me a bit of Thai food, mate. Love a bit of Thai food. There's this joint just in Highton. Just fantastic stuff. I'm half a chance to get it tomorrow night, actually. I'll probably get it almost once a fortnight. Bit of the old Massamam curry. Baggage, Shorty, ain't enough questions. Poor form from us, so quick fire. Quick fire. Horses or camels? Horses. Chicken strips or chicken wings? Strips. Coke, not the white one. Or Pepsi? Coke. Ridley or Dale? Oh, jeez. I will go Ridley. Don't like either of them. Summer or winter? Oh, mate, summer every day of the week. But I've, I love me footy, mate. But this weather is fucking killing me. Blondes or brunettes? Brunettes or other, he says. We'll lock in brunettes, mate. Don't mind the quick fire there from Steve. Yeah, I reckon Shorty's ratings have just. I've gone head to head with the State of Origin, and I've come undone. But what do we got here from Steve? A few people in my league went early on McAndrew from Sydney. Am I missing out on anything here or easy pass now that Hickey is back and firing? Yeah, easy pass for mine, mate. He might have the odd day, but no, I don't think he's a guy in comparison to other options we need to consider. Who we got? Baggers is back. Oh, no, there's another one from Big Fella. Shorty, any of the mid-season draft boys good for SuperCoach? Honestly, I don't know enough about them yet. There will be some, I'll tell you that much. But a few of the names that I did know, I didn't feel like there was opportunity in the clubs that drafted them, like Poulter and Narkle. But yeah, we'll find out a bit more in the coming days. But I'm sure there'll be one or two that help us out. Yeah. Steve says, I was planning on Will Day being my 23rd player, but he is pissing me off. I might flip him instead of Will, or will he bounce back? He's probably in that category of like, you can keep him, but I don't see him bouncing back like consistently. Like I think he'll have his moments because he's an exciting young midfielder. But I also said like 6 weeks ago that there's every chance being a young guy in a poor team that he will ebb and flow. So sure he gets some things wrong with Errol Goulden, but he occasionally gets things right as well. So I think it's in the nature of him as a selection that he will be up and down. So if there's better options that you can go to, mate, I would trade. Baggers, they're asking what look-alike, what I say, Freddy Krueger time. Oh, mate, you're in fine form tonight. Jonas, hey, Shorty, bounced any coins off any heinies? Oh, Jesus Christ. No comment, Jonas. Just going to keep that one PG tonight. Maybe those stories might get told on Shorty's OnlyFans one day, but not yet. Corey, how did your tennis go on the weekend? I played and we had a loss, and the guy I played was a little brat when he was down. Love a dummy spit in tennis. Quite familiar with it over the journey in my younger days. Didn't always behave myself the best on the court, but I actually didn't play on the weekend because I went to the footy, but I'm playing this weekend. The team had a win last week, so that was good. But yeah, back this week. So yeah, hopefully get the dub. Playing, there's 2 teams for the club I play in the same section, so playing the same club. So should be a bit of fun. Baggers, this is a shocking scam. Want me to sign up to OnlyFans? Complete bullshit. Will block. Steve, if Hickey goes down though, the Sydney boy could be like Samson Ryan. Yeah, 100% could go boom. I mean, he could. And if Hickey does go down, then we'll pull that trigger. But until he does, very hard to say. Liam, would you bring in Briggs or Witts for Darcy? I would go Witts. I think going that more known quantity. But I also, by the same token, feel like Briggs is a guy we need to get in our team to generate that cash. So ideally both. But if you had the preference, I'd hate for it all go pear-shaped with Briggs, and then you had to field a guy that was scoring 50s or 60s or gets dropped or Flynn comes back, you know. Bagger says, Jonas, your name says it all. Big fella, quite surprised Callum Brown didn't get redrafted. I was thinking the same. I was looking at that, like Marty Hoare, Callum Brown. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Been dominating in the VFL, I think. Luke McMahon, hey, Shorty, how are you? How do you think the Cats will go for the rest of the season? Hey, mate, how are you? Look, I think the short term is going to be a bit to swallow, mate, but they'll be okay. I think once we get our troops back, particularly Dangerfield, we just lack so much through that, so much explosion throughout the midfield. And it just shows there is a tipping point with how many players you can have out of the team. So I still think we'll make the 8, probably bottom of the 8, but I think we'll be okay. Maybe a chance to get rolling later in the season. But yeah, hope you're well, mate. You'll have to let me know what you thought of your appearance on the goal kicking, mate. I finally got that one all edited up. So yeah, thanks for coming down again, mate. Baggers, my grandpa got redrafted. Apparently was MIA weird. Usually get dropped to the twos. How he thinks of it, man, I just don't know. I don't know. Pufferfish. Oisin Mullen already got more ground ball gets than Nick Dacos, I reckon. Jesus. There are a few out there who still get stuck in a Nicky boy. Corey, Naismith and Oscar McDonald were sure going to get drafted, but Sydney and Geelong went different directions as Geelong was looking at Naismith and Sydney Oscar McDonald. Yeah, interesting because McDonald's definitely another name that I thought will get drafted as well, but he didn't. So that was quite surprising. But yeah, definitely handy for us in Supercoach, the old mid-season draft. I've actually caught up to the questions, so feel free to chuck a few through, but I will go grab the old quiz and we can get stuck into that slightly. Oh, not really that much earlier than time, but we'll see what we can do. Start this quiz up in a second. Where are we? Host that one. So yeah, if you've been a long-time follower, you'll be well aware of the process. But if you're new, it is play.blookit.com. The code is just loading. 7400 604. 7400 604. Yeah, cool. Get involved if you want to do a bit of a quiz, my friend. Steve, I was also eyeing off Stuart to help in the buys, but he beat his break even. We'll be back down with his upcoming matchups. Also, go Dogs for this week. Yeah, Stuart's definitely a must-have. I reckon last year he was he got injured or something in the old game against the Dogs. So hopefully nothing like that. But you're probably hoping he will. But very reliable, Tommy boy. Get him in as soon as you can. Jonas says, "Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk. Who do you like for the flag, shorty?" Oh yeah, look at the moment. I find it hard to go past the Pies. I still think Brisbane are playing good footy, and I wouldn't write off the D's either. But I think history shows that just because you're the best team right now, it's always the team that hits their straps in the back end of the year. But Collingwood are really well set. Puffer Fish says Suns are going to fight till they hold up the cup. Yeah, they've got a bit of fighting to do, that's for sure. They are struggling. We got 10 of you in the quiz, so you'll love to see it. If you want to get involved, there is the code. We got Aiden, we got Big Fella, we got Cause of My Time. Josh Elise is in there. NFI Silk, Thirsty Girl Nicole. There's a bit of a tennis relation there. I think Pufferfish and Koza is in the house as well. Baggers, Steal the Rhino. Oh, jeez, that has moved on me. Steal the Rhino, and we got problems. Italian gangster voice. You understand that, capiche? Oh, shit. Oh, he's a funny man. Oh, this is a new name. AI Dan. Hi there. Name's pronounced Aiden. Oh, fair enough. I just called you AI Dan. Sorry about that. How many you got fielded at the moment? Let me have a look. I'm actually set up okay. So, and the back line, Chesser, unless he's named, there's a 0. Dunkley, Constable, so there's 3. We're good in the ruck. And we're good up forward. So unless Seamus Mitchell is out, so I'll have 18 or 19, which I'm really happy about. So how about yourself, mate? Corey says Port Adelaide could be a shout-out, I reckon, or shout-out. Yeah, that's true. They are playing good footy, and they're a bit of a different team holding it together now. It's not Boak and Wines anymore. It's Butters and Rosie's team. So they are playing some real good footy. Steve, I could get Stuart for Will Day this week, but not sure if it's worth it. I probably would. To be any time there's an opportunity to get in a bloke like Tom Stewart, I probably would, mate. But it is up to you. Silver Pigeon. Hey, Shorty, would you grab the Cats Irish play at 102K to save a donut this week? Look, if it's the difference between having like 16 or 17 and topping up, I would. But tread with caution. The job security is not great. But if it he could get you like 50, 60. Duncan could come back too, and he might not even play. I'm not sure. Carl says, Christian Salem, Shorty, could you condone jumping on? Value, yeah, but enough to tickle the short dog's fancy. Oh, without having looked too closely, I don't think so, mate. Have a look. He is priced at 390. Oh, so he hasn't even gone up. Nah, I wouldn't go in, mate. Look, if he came back and scored a couple of 90s, maybe 100, but he's only come back and scored 78, 88. Hasn't even reached the 20 touches yet. Yeah, it's a no for me. I just don't think he's got enough upside in his scoring, mate. Um, Luke says, Shorty, did you see my last chat? I think I did. Hopefully, I answered that one about how I think the Cats are going. But if I missed it, feel free to chuck it through again, my friend. Jack says, "Love your vid, Shorty." Oh, thank you, mate. Appreciate that, and I love you for coming along with the comment, mate. I appreciate all you guys getting involved. It's great stuff. Aiden says, "Yeah, 17 or 18." Yeah, which I think is probably par for the course, mate. I think that's you just want to avoid those disasters. Um, Corey has 20 or 21 if he brings in Briggs in this week, if not 19 or 20. Yeah, that's good. That's well set up. Obviously, we're always aiming for 18, but it's a massive bonus to have 19 or 20 because you guys probably know, but say you have some dud rookie who scores 28 and then there's another guy who scores 41. Well, they get wiped. If they're your bottom two scorers and you've got 20 playing, they get wiped. So it's pretty handy. Quiz code there for you if you're not involved yet. We'll start it pretty soon. Aiden's jumped in. A little comment around Caitlin. Hot Puss Michaela is back. Lucas in there, Mitchy T. Shorty's missus. Jesus Christ. Tasty ass Nicole. That's some sort of a name there. What else we got? Baggers. Luke, sometimes chat doesn't go through to short dog. Just resend Baggers, the conductor. Yeah, mate. My dad let me know all about it when I didn't get to one of his comments. But gee whiz. Steve, how many teams are going to fall with the ruck situation? Darcy down as well as ruck cover and Radigalia. And then to top it off, Gorn didn't get dual posse. Yeah, I think that will hurt a few, mate. I mean, I've been fortunate with the rucks. I've just had the old set and forget for ages, but that will hurt a few. GRB, hashtag Oliver back next week. Yes, I think so. I mean, I'm only guessing, but by all reports, he was close this week. So surely that means he's definitely back next week, mate. Big fella says Luke Jackson next week as ruck forward. No, I don't really like that one, mate. I mean, it's great in the short term, but Darcy will be back somewhat soon, 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3, worst case. And then Jackson goes back to a pretty unappealing role. So one day Jackson will be a lock for our teams. I'm telling you, one day, but it just ain't. It just ain't yet. DMAC, I have to be due to win the quiz at this point. Otherwise, it's rigged as usual. Oh boy, we'll start it pretty soon, mate. So get in the zone, my friend. Carl Baggers rostered on for foreman duties, keeping the boys on the straight and narrow. Baggers says, love a bit of Oliver oil. If he's in, we'll oil up Atkins and slide him down the discard slide. I want the big pink pig, Oliver. Yeah, I want him back too, mate. I mean, he's one of my favourite players to have in the SuperCoach, mate. So hopefully he's back soon. Hopefully I can reach him. Steve, what did your mate say about the comment I left for him on your goal kicking vid? No reply. Yeah, he hasn't given me an official reply yet, mate. I might have to. I did mention it to him, and he just kind of laughed it off. So I might have to seek a proper reply for you. Luke says, I just said I thought I kicked 2 goals in the goal kicking challenge instead of 1 goal 2. Controversial says, if it is a second kick in one of them, it did hit the post. I know it's a brutal game, but if it's the one I'm thinking, it did look like it was bouncing through. and you may have been mid-celebration, but it did hit the post, mate. I'm very sorry about that, but we did take it up to the arc, and it did just hit the post. But I I did feel a bit robbed there because it looked like it was going through the whole way. Yeah, we'll just put the final one through for the quiz, and hopefully we can get over sort of 25. Oh, we're at 24, so it's good. Good opportunity to win the quiz here, guys. We're often around 40, so it's a good opportunity. Corey says, D-Mac, you're going down. I'm not losing this one due to last week getting the wrong answer at the last question and missed the first question. So Corey's feeling good. Bagger says, correct, Carl. He's having a chat with Carly boy. Steve, yep, set and forget for rucks every year since similar situations in the Sanderlands era. Yeah, I think set and forget's the way to go, isn't it? Those mid-prices haven't done me well for a while. Carl, quiz smack talk. You love to see it. You really do, mate. That's what it's about. Bit of pub ammo from Nick. Last government got rid of capital punishment in Australia in the 50s. The comments are getting wild here. Xavier, who's your money on to win the quiz tonight? Oh, that is tough. Honestly, DMAC is one of the guys who won it a few times last year. Daniel T, I haven't seen for a while. He used to win it a lot. Look, I'm gonna back Corey in. I'm gonna back Corey. He was so close last week, mate. I'm backing him in. But who have we got in here? See if there's any familiar names. DMAC's always around it. Causer will be up there. Jeff over Daniel. Now that is just utter disrespect. So yeah, there's a few names in there. A few names. Carl, what's it got to be? Baggers, we step out of line. We cop our medicine. Hey lads, goes all right in the drink. Watch it sink. Oh shit, Austin. Surely Shorty causes absolute mayhem at the footy. I can get verbal at times. Yeah, have had words with supporters over the journey, but I try to hold my verbal for the positive. Doesn't always work. But Steve, what do you think of Crazy Man Kane Corn saying Freo should let Darcy go after his contract is up? And they have Jackson. Cornsey says all sorts of shit, mate. I don't think they should let him go. But if he chooses to go, because I'm hearing there is a bit of murmuring about that, it wouldn't be a disaster because they get very nice reimbursement coming back with a trade. And Jackson, I think, could be a number one ruck easy. Pufferfish, Schofield going to come out of retirement to guide the Rising Weagles to another flag. D-Max says it's his time. Big fella, this is my week. Second last week, going first this week. Baggers, I'll take my 16th place in the 22. Bit of Sinclair about the quiz skills. All right, guys, good stuff. Let's rock and roll. Steve says still cleaning up over here in the Shorties leftover league. All right, let's get into it, shall we? We got 24 in here. I think we are ready to roll. Yeah, good luck. Where are we? Question 1. What score did Harry Mackay kick on the weekend? 0 goes 0. Fuck me. 0 goals 3. 1 goal 3. 1 goal 4. Or 0 goals 4. Couldn't slot him, Harry. He couldn't slot him, and I fucking tipped the Blues too. He was really pissing me off. I can tell you, he didn't snag a goal, so it's 50-50 from there. He kicked 0 goals 3, which most of you's got. A few slipped up on that one. Who we got in? Mitchy boy, Aiden, Silk, Josh Mutton, and Jeff over Daniel. So none of the selections I tipped in there early, but it is just question 1. Nicely done, boys and girls. So equality over here at Shorty Supercoach. Question 2. How many disposals did James Sicily have against the Saints? 41, 42, 43, 44. Of course, he had a day out, mate. You shouldn't get this wrong if you had him in your Supercoach. Certainly had a ripper day, aside from getting himself suspended, which wasn't ideal, but massive game from James, and he racked up 43. And yeah, most he's getting it right. Few thought 42, but the majority getting that one correct. Nicely done. Causer, there he is, big fella. Shorties, Aiden, and D-Mac. Nicely done. Aiden's on top. Shorties love. Then Mitch, Silk, and D-Mac. There he is in equal 4th. Good stuff. Question 3. Sydney and West Coast won the 2005 and 2006 premierships respectively. What was the combined winning margin? So both grand final margins, bang them together. What was the total of those points? 3 points, 5 points, 2 points, or 6 points. I would have got this wrong. I actually didn't think it when I was doing this question. I definitely didn't know this, but I'm pretty sure it was 1 point in one of them and 4 in the other for 5. So nicely done. 13 of you got that right. I thought that might have split it a bit more, but Pufferfish, Cozza, Aiden again, he should be on top. Mitch will be there. D-Mac will be there. And Aiden's on top, Mitch and D-Mac. And then Giant and AI Baggers, I think that was. Couldn't quite read it quick enough. Question 4. What number did Nathan Buckley wear? It's a little bit of a throwback, this one. 5, 15, 8, or 18. If you are Pies fans, should get this one right. I reckon this is one of the easier ones in the quiz tonight. I don't know if I'm just slightly older than some of you guys out there, but if you've seen any Nathan Buckley highlights, you know he's rolling number 5. And most of you get that right. Very nicely done. Might have been who was in quickest there for this top 5. Causa, Elise, Aiden, Jeff over Daniel, and Tasty Ass Nicole. So Causa might find himself in the 5. Not quite. Aiden, D-Mac, Giant, Mitch, and Jeff over Daniel. Who was the Giants' leading ball winner on Saturday? We got Lockie Ash, Tommy Green, Stephen Cornelio, or Lockie Whitfield. Don't know if this is tough. I think it's probably one of those ones, if you watch the game, it's a piece of cake. If you're betting on percentages, you probably get it wrong. So, yeah, Lockie Whitfield had early 30s. I think Green was close, but not quite. Big fella, Pufferfish, Causa. Aiden's working hard. NFI gets in that top 5. So Aiden's on top still. Giant Deck, D-Mac, Causa, and NFI. So there's Causa and D-Mac coming through like I knew they would. They'll be close. Which player has the most Brownlow votes for their career? Luke Parker, Trent Cotchin, Ben Cunnington, Zach Merritt. I can tell you 2 of these blokes have Brownlow votes for their career in the 140s. So it's tough to split them. The other 2 aren't too close. I think it was Cotchin. I think Luke Parker was maybe 4 or 5 votes behind him. Yeah, wowee. That slips a few up. It was Trent Cotchin. I think he has 146, and I think Parker had 142. Shorty's love, Aiden. Good get there. Cozza, Giant. Good get. Hot Puss Michaela M. So Aiden is on top with a bit of a gap. Giant, D-Mac, Zave's in there. Good stuff. Question 7. What score did Brisbane kick in the third quarter against the Crows? Obviously, it was probably where it got away from them. 1 goal 7, 1 goal 8, 1 goal 9, or 2 goals 7. So certainly hurt them quite a lot. They blew some chances, and in the end, it probably cost them a game. Getting to the business end of the quiz now, and I think it was 1 goal 9. Oh, shit. There's split a few of yous. I guess it was fine margins, but yeah, 1 goal 9. Only 80s, he got it right. Shorty's love, he's going well. Lukey Mack, Josh Martin, Elise, Aiden's still in there, so he'll be on top still. He is. Giant, Shorty's love, D-Mac, and Causa. Bit of a gap there, so it will take something special for these last 4 or 5 questions. There were 5 matches on Saturday. How many of those results were upsets? According to the odds, I think we all would agree they were upsets, but I just want to put that little asterisk in there. 5, 4, 3, or 2. Of course, we had the Hawks winning, the Giants winning, Gold Coast winning, and there was one more which I can't remember. Fremantle beat the D's. And there you go. Most of you got that right. Nicely done. Pufferfish, big fella, Tasty Ass Nicole, Cozza, and Causa. So did Aiden get this right? Did Jane get it right? They didn't, so it really tightens up. Causes in there. They're still on top 8 and Giant, but tightens up a bit. Question 9. How many games has Nick Nat played? 171, 163, 204, or 213? Bit of a tricky one. It's a bit of a random one. We know he gets injured a bit, but has he clocked up the double ton yet, Nick? I wonder if this pie chart could be evenly split, I reckon. It's actually 213. And it is an even fucking pie chart, ladies and gentlemen. So that is close. Mitch, AI Baggers, D-Mac, Zave, and Luke Max. So this could be D-Mac's move here. He's still in third. Aiden, Giant, Shorty's Love, and Luke into fifth. So minimal movement in the top there, but it is close. Question 10. Dan Butler kicked the first goal of the final quarter against the Hawks, giving them how much of a lead? And then, of course, we saw the Hawks snaffle the lead up. But was it 20 points, 22 points, 18, or 24? Couldn't believe it. I was watching the game or listening to it on the radio, and then obviously it was going to the Cats game. Checked the old AFL Live app. I was like, fuck. Saints got done. Couldn't believe it. Fuck, a few got that wrong. 20 points. It was 14 at three-quarter time. Butler slots it. Thirsty girl, Nicole. Shorty's Love, D-Mac, Joshy boy, Aiden. So this will be pretty close still. Aiden's got a nice lead, but D-Mac has gone into second there. Shorty's Love in third. Question 11, which of these Saints were drafted highest? Number one pick being the highest. Joey Montagna, Nick Dalsano, Sam Fisher, Jack Stephen. Really sort of testing. Look, it's actually not that close. There's only one guy in here who was a first-round draft selection. But I reckon this might split a few. This could be where it gets decided, this one. It was Nick Dalsano, pick 13, and it has split a few of yours. So this will be real interesting as to who can Aiden score this one and hold on. Tasty Ass Nicole, Cozza, Pufferfish, Elise, Joshy Martin. So he wasn't in there, Aiden, but is he in there getting it right? Dima. Fuck, Giant, Josh, fifth. Minimal movement in the top five. So he didn't get it right, but he's still on top. Final question. How many clearances did Matt Rowell have on the weekend? Maybe this is one of Shorty's toughest quizzes because we haven't seen as much movement on the leaderboard. But 14, 17, 16, or 15, he dominated. Had 29 touches, 22 kicks, which is interesting from Matty Rowell. Normally a bit of a handball operator sometimes. That is 16 clearances. Massive game. Mostly's got it right. I feel like Aiden's got the job done. But in third was Giant Deck. D-Mac in second. And Aiden has got it done. 210 points. Nicely played. Bit of a tougher quiz there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't reckon there were too many people who got more than 8 right here. I'll be interested to have a look. Yeah, okay, so Aiden got 9, D-Mac got 9, so did Giant. But then it did start to get difficult. Tasty Ass Nicole in 4th. She got 7. Good, strong finish there. Josh. Then Shorty's Love. Probably had maybe a poor finish there, I think. It was going pretty nicely 3/4 of the way through. Pufferfish, Lukey, Mac, Save. Causa maybe fell away a bit. Big fella. Yeah, nice. Nicely done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good win there from Aiden, which I think is his first win. I don't think I've seen him in the old quiz each and every week. So good to have you on board, mate. Corey came 10th, got a few easy ones wrong. Pufferfish, poor form from the Pufferfish tonight. Little Fishy has to step it up next week. D-Mac, justice for me, robbed again. D-Mac, am I right in saying you had quite a few seconds last year? I don't want to rub it in, or I could be thinking of someone else, but Corey, that was tough. The score ones were ones I didn't know. Yeah. And sometimes it's tough. Like if you miss a game over the weekend, it's a real guess. Like you can't watch every game. So it's a bit of luck of the draw. Jack, thanks, Shorty. Hope you have a great night and good weekend. Thanks, mate. You too. Hopefully catch you next Wednesday. Lordy, how much longer is the stream? And lol, those suckers who trade out Clary coming back next week. I'll probably only stay on for another 5, I think, mate. But nothing wrong with trading out Clary, mate. I think a couple of weeks was probably what was anticipated. So you don't want to hold too many players for any more than a week these days with all the trades we have. D-Mac, offset on the podium, always the shattering finish. Lukey Mac could have got a few other questions right, Corey. I even watched the game as well. Oh, no. Steve, who are you going VC this week so far? Rosie, then Bont. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Bont as the C as well, but my VC probably going to be Dacos, I think. Shawnee Baker, Cheese Shorty. Thanks for no worries, mate. Thanks for jumping on board. Big fella. Cheers, mate. Good luck next week or this week. You too, mate. Hope you have a good week. Hopefully chat to you soon. Thanks, Aiden. Yeah, good stuff. You too, mate. Good luck this weekend. Hope it goes well. Baggers couldn't answer a phone, let alone that many questions. Defo not a telemarketer list selector. I am. BV. Also, you reckon get Libba who's going down in price or McRae with a break even? I'd go McRae for sure, mate. For sure. Lordy Shorty, if you knew Clary only out for 2, you trading? Yeah, I probably still would have, mate. But look, the fact is we couldn't know. And when we had to make the decision, we listened to his coach say that we'll take it cautious, and it could be this, it could be that. There was rumors that it could be 3, it could be 4. So, you know, you just got to play the cards that are dealt in front of you. But if it was 2 guaranteed, yeah, it would have been a tough call. I definitely would have dropped in ranking, and I'd be probably fielding 17 this week. So it all comes into consideration, but I will certainly hopefully get him back soon. Thanks, Corey. Good stuff, baggers. Little VC on Rally Boy Xavier. Thanks, mate. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you have a good weekend too, mate. Hopefully I can crack that top 3K. Aiden just chucked a follow on Twitter. Oh, thanks, mate. Good stuff. If you're a Twitter or if you're TikTok sort of operator, mate, feel free to chuck a little follow there too, my friend. Little shout out there. But yeah, we might wind that one up there. Shorty's going to kick back, watch a bit of AFL 360, and get me water. I ran out of water halfway through. Jesus, struggling. No worries. Thanks, baggers. You too, mate. Spin the Coles truck tires, mate. The Coles days are over, my friend. The Coles days, Shorty's moved on, but nah, that's all right, Luke. That's all right. Next week, mate. Hopefully, Gabby back for the quiz. Yeah, yeah. Fair, Lordy. That's fair, man. Bounce back this week, my friend. Bounce back. I'll hopefully talk to you next week, my friend. Yeah, fair call, Steve. Always tough trying to judge, the hold, the trade. With 36 trades, whatever we have, I feel like it's almost always trade. But who knows? We could run out of trades in 5 weeks. We never know. But I'm going to sign off. It's been fun as always. I'll be back for my preview tomorrow night. And, of course, my press conference on Sunday. And as always, each Wednesday, unless something crazy bobs up for Shorty, we start our live on TikTok at about 7 o'clock and just waltz our way over to the YouTube areas on 7:30. So, yeah, thanks very much. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week. Enjoy the rest of it. And, trade well. Hopefully have a good weekend. Chat to you soon. Cheers.